Kyle. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. My name's Amy Greenwell. I'm a social work student at WKU. I appreciate you coming in tonight and doing this interview with me. The purpose of this interview is to explore a problem or challenge that you may be dealing with and maybe set some goals or brainstorm a solution. Together we'll work on that, and thank you again for coming. The interview should last about 30 minutes, and it will be recorded and viewed by my instructor and one of my classmates solely for instructional purposes and to better understand my interviewing skills. Also, at the end of this, you will be asked to fill out a client feedback form, just how I did, how comfortable you were interviewing with me, and you have the right to withhold from answering any questions if you feel like, or you can exit the interview if you feel uncomfortable or something, which I doubt we'll get to that. Also, if you tell me some information like you might harm yourself or someone else, I will have to report that. That's kind of an extremity, but
I understand.
just for clarity purposes, I would have to report that concern. Do you have any questions at this point?
No, I'm ready.
Okay. Where would you like to begin?
Well, a problem that I have recently discovered this semester would be procrastination. It's hurting my grades quite a bit, and it's nothing, that I want to happen, but I have a lot of assignments that I've just been pushing back until, the evening before it's due, and it's reflecting in the grades when I get the papers back, and that's something I'd really like to fix.
Okay, so you're not leaving yourself enough time at all to finish the assignments. Is that correct?
That's correct. I feel like if I was motivated to work on it, a day or so in advance, I could give it the proper time it requires. But when I just give it a few hours to work on it the evening before, it just doesn't turn out very well.
Mm-hmm.
And the paper or the assignments definitely deserve more time than that. But I'm just not motivated to give them the attention they deserve.
Okay. So do you feel like you have other things that are more important to you right now than school, or?
I do. I hate to admit this, but I'm kind of caught up in the whole college thing. I want to go out and see my friends and socialize. And it's just, it's very hard to juggle both.
Yeah.
Academics and social life.
That's very understandable. What year are you?
I'm a junior.
Okay. All right. So you've been here for a while. Is it your classes you don't, or you're not necessarily interested in, or is it just you just get distracted with everything else that's going on?
It's a mix of both, I would say. I'm a junior, so as I'm approaching the end of my majors, the classes just become more narrow, and I just kind of lose interest in them. But then another factor is, as a junior, I've gotten older, I've made more friends, and now I'm able to do things that I wasn't able to do freshman year or sophomore year. So it's that new freedom that's
Right.
kind of hard to focus on schoolwork with.
I understand that too. So how have you dealt with this before?
Well, it hasn't really been a problem before. In high school, I definitely wasn't motivated, but I flew by in high school without really working very hard. It was very easy. And when I first came here, my freshman year, it was the same way. I didn't really have to give my classes any attention. I missed a lot of class, but I still got, very good grades. But as the classes become more difficult, that is no longer working for me.
Yeah, it's harder to adjust making the time
Yes,
you need to commit to those classes.
it definitely is. And it's even harder when you're just not interested in the subject, or, you don't like the professor or something like that.
Yeah. Do you get along with most of your professors?
Most of them. Some of the classes I have are just very large classes, 100 students, and you don't really get to build a relationship with the professor. So, and when that's not done, I'm just not really motivated to give that professor the respect or the attention that he deserves or he deserves. But it's just, if a class is a smaller class, I definitely give it more attention because
Right.
I build a relationship with the professor. But none of my classes this semester are in that style. All very
Most of them
large.
are larger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure without the attention from the teacher, it would be hard to focus as well.
Yeah. And those large classes don't have attendance policies, so it's very easy to just not go.
Yeah.
I find myself doing that a lot. Debating should I go to class? Pros and cons.
It
And
doesn't really matter.
I never really go.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Okay. But you said you tended to skip classes also with like your freshman and sophomore years.
Yeah, but
But you were able to and still keep up with the class.
yeah, I don't know if it was just luck or what, but I've never had a problem until now.
Well, you're very smart, and
Well, thank you.
you're welcome. And it's good that you understand what needs to be done. Maybe like you can identify that you need to spend more time maybe on certain classes. And is there any way like you can have you thought of ways to strengthen the relationship between you and your professors?
I have.
Is there an open connection, like a
Um,
contact?
There are, and I know that a lot of professors are involved in like clubs and
Uh-huh.
like groups, because all those clubs need sponsors, and I can just look into those, and if like a professor that I have is involved with one, then it would be very easy to build a relationship with that professor.
Yeah, that's a really good
Um,
idea.
Especially if it's a subject that I'm interested in. Just at the moment, none of them are, so that's a problem.
What classes are you taking?
I have biology, which I normally like, but I just can't get into it here, and that's a class with like 130 people,
Oh yeah.
and it's no attendance policy. The book isn't necessary, so I don't give it very much. I mean, I guess respect would be the word I don't give it. I just show up, like once every week or so.
Yeah, just to kind of be there.
Yeah. Most of my other classes are poli-sci related, like comparative politics and U.S. foreign policy, which is my major.
Your major is what?
Poli-sci.
Okay.
And then I have a second major as well in Asian religions and cultures.
Okay.
With both my majors now, the class has gotten very narrow, and I have like maybe 1 or 2 classes left in each after this semester. Whereas like freshman year, the classes were very broad. You can learn what you're interested in.
Right.
But now it's very like narrow-minded classes. It's a class on this exact topic. If you don't like it, there's nothing you can do because the class is required for your major.
Yeah, and the broader the classes are, and if they don't have to do with your major, I understand that would make it hard to
Yeah.
focus and probably understand.
Yes, definitely. Like the language classes, you have to take them. I mean, and I understand why you have to take them, but most people don't have any interest in taking language classes, and I don't think anybody in college became a proficient speaker in a language by taking 2 semesters of the class. So everybody kind of understands that it's just you layer just for 2 semesters and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have that outlook on it, I mean, you're not going to do very well unless you have like a very strong urge to actually learn that language.
Right.
But if you do, I mean, there are better ways to do it than a college class.
Then taking the class. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's other opportunities.
Definitely.
So, it sounds like you're having trouble finding motivation just for some of your classes that don't have to deal that much with your major. Is that correct?
I would say so, yes.
But the classes that do pertain to political science,
Yes.
those are easier for you to.
They're easier, because I'm interested in the content, and also because I've had the professors, since my freshman year. So with those classes, I do have that relationship with my professors.
Okay.
So I attempt to, make it to class as much as possible.
Yeah, I'm
like
sure
I
they
showed.
appreciate that too.
Yeah, and I believe they see that I'm struggling with that. That's weird.
Oh no.
The,
The screen looked like.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still going.
Alright.
Your professors see that?
Yes. Like the professors that I've had multiple times, because the poli sci department's not that large, it's like 6 professors, so I've had all of them over and over again. I believe that they take a notice that
Yeah.
I'm there, a lot, and giving it the attention it deserves.
Yeah. So the professors that you do have for the general ed classes, almost, is that what they are?
Yeah.
The ones that don't pertain?
Yeah, like biology and my language classes.
Right. So those teachers you won't have again after
No,
you take the class, right?
no. I mean, and it's really hard to build a relationship over one semester.
Right. Especially with so many classmates in a class like that.
Yeah.
Of that size.
Yeah, I would definitely agree.
So besides the lack of motivation and relationship with the professor, how do you understand the material in those classes?
Fairly well. I've never really had a problem, in a class because of difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
I've always done, very well. Even when I go to a class, it's a new class. I've never done anything related to that before. I always end up doing pretty well rather quickly. So I know, with that being said, that if I did have the motivation to go to, say, biology, and go to the class and then do the homework and study for the exams, that I could do really well. But I don't have the motivation, so I'm just sort of I'm slacking.
So when you are doing your homework, where do you normally do that at?
I'm a library person. I go to the library, have my silence. I'm in a corner by myself.
Yeah.
It always has worked best for me.
That's a good atmosphere
Yeah.
to set yourself in if you want to get work completed.
Yes.
So you study by yourself and kind of get in the zone.
Yeah.
When you're studying for a test, how do you normally study or prepare yourself for that?
See, I think that studying is kind of difficult. Nobody's ever taught you how to study.
Mm-hmm.
You just sort of, whatever works for you. So I will read the content and then, think on it for a while. If it all works, read it again, make sure it works.
Right.
And if there's something I don't understand, I'm one of those people, I will email the professor, I will go talk to the professor, before I would ever, assume that I know, the content. If there's anything that I even remotely question, I will ask the professor or somebody who knows. But lately I've not been studying, so I think that would, contribute to the lack of motivation and, the decline in the grades. I had a biology exam last week that I did not prepare for at all. Didn't even look through the book. I failed the exam. I got a 40 out of 100,
Oh, no.
and that is the first exam that I've ever failed in my entire life. So that's kind of interesting, I guess. That's new.
Yeah.
Definitely not something I want to do again. It was kind of a heartbreaking experience to go through.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be hard. Being a successful student all these years.
Yeah, I don't know. It caught up to me, I guess.
Do you know what why sudden change?
I don't. I think, the further you get in college, the more you see that goal line.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that, in my 2 majors, there's only, a class left after the semester. And it's let's just get there. I'm over this, I'm kind of burnt out, lost motivation. And I think it's not specific with me. I think that's a lot of people in my classes.
Yeah, I agree.
You've already figured out what you want to do with your life. You just, you have to take a couple classes that you don't care about to get there. And you're too busy looking ahead to focus on what's in front of you right now.
Yeah. Focusing on what's ahead and where you're going to be after graduation, that can distract you a lot from the present and from your classes that you need to focus on as as well as cause burnout.
Yeah.
I agree. That can easily happen with anybody. So is there any different, have you thought of any different interesting ways to study? Like, I don't know if going to the library, I understand that it might be helpful, but with the burnout, you might need to figure out something new.
Yeah, I've thought about that, and I've yet to experiment with any new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like group studying, I know it works for a lot of people. I've never been one to try it.
Yeah.
So I may look into that. I have friends that do it quite a bit, and they love it. So or just like meeting with somebody and just discussing the content of the whatever class it is. I think that can be really helpful.
Yeah. Well, even if your friends have studying they need to do, you all could get in a group and just, I don't know if that would be a bigger distraction as well, but it might be something to try. You all can get in the zone and do your homework, but also you're still hanging out, so you're not missing out on anything.
Yeah. I think something like that would make it a lot easier to study for longer periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you go to the library by yourself, an hour or two tops, and then it's like, I'm bored or hungry, I have to leave. In a group setting, I think it would be much easier just to, time flies when you're with your friends anyways. So if you're studying, kill two birds with one stone, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. So what part of all this do you think is the hardest for you to manage? Just the lack of motivation?
I would definitely say lack of motivation and going to class would be tough.
Going to class?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a tough
especially
one.
since it's getting colder out.
Yes. I have 8 a.m.s every day of the week.
Oh, no.
So if I look outside and it's still dark, or if it's raining, I don't go to class that day. I get back in bed.
Well, do you have an umbrella?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well,
most men don't use umbrellas.
Where did you learn that one from?
Look outside. Look around campus.
I've seen plenty of men use umbrellas.
Okay. I see my professors use umbrellas. I don't see any guys use umbrellas.
What about ponchos?
No.
You wouldn't be interested in a poncho?
I'll explore that option. I'll look into that one.
Maybe, yeah. Okay. I don't see many men wearing ponchos either.
It's worth a shot.
There you go.
I'll start a trend.
Maybe if you're willing to try.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's look at this another way. Instead of thinking about your lack of motivation, what would you consider to be 3 strengths in yourself that help you in school?
Okay. I would say definitely intelligence. Based on the fact that I've always just gotten by without putting much effort forward.
Yeah.
That's either really lucky or, without bragging, I'm pretty intelligent and good at this. It could be either or. I wouldn't be too upset if it was pure luck either.
Well, I would say it came with work and with, and I'm sure it is partially talent too, but that is very lucky, and that's a really good strength to have. What else?
I would definitely say confidence. There's no class that I'm really intimidated, to take. If I'm interested in a class, even if it's 400 level,
Mm-hmm.
I'm confident that I can get through it and understand the material and do well. So that's helped, because there are a lot of classes that I had to ask permission to take, because as a freshman I wasn't you're not supposed to take 300 or 400 level classes.
Right.
But I asked permission from the professor and basically sold my story to him. I can do this, and greatest classes I've ever taken. Made friends, learned a lot in those classes, as opposed to just doing the typical freshman, 110, 120 level classes.
Right.
I was confident that I could do it, and then I did. And that definitely helps, I guess, present yourself to the professor for later cases,
Yeah.
and then also just for yourself. That's pretty powerful to do. I mean, there's nothing in college as a freshman. There's really nothing worse than like failing a class,
Right.
because you know you have to take it again, and then that just destroys your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not had that happen yet.
There's money wasted and,
Definitely.
and disappointment. Yeah. Well, that's a really good thing to have, is a confidence and that you can achieve your goals and
Yeah.
get to that point. You're very close to being a junior and
Yeah.
only having a few classes left within your majors. I'm sure that feels rewarding too.
Definitely. Another strength that I would say I have is a support system.
Mm-hmm.
I have a great support. I have my sister here with me. She's at West. She's also a junior. We're pretty close, so that helps as a support system.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever need anything, miss home, anything like that. I can just call Big Sis, and it's always pretty okay, I guess.
Aw, that is good. It makes me miss my sister.
Yeah.
She's a big part of my support system too.
Yeah.
But that's also awesome that she's here, going through the same kind of struggles too, dealing with school and
Yeah.
trying to get that degree too.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of intimidated when I first came here because I didn't know anyone, and it's 3 hours away from home.
Oh yeah.
But now that she's here with me, it's not a problem at all.
Okay. So you seem like a somewhat of a goal-oriented person. You have the confidence that you can achieve whatever it is that comes to you, if you put enough work and care enough about it, and I believe that. And so what do you feel like needs to happen?
Okay. I would say something needs to change so that I'm motivated to, give the class, give the attention they deserve. I hate the expression, but like light my fire kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't just,
It's burnt out.
yeah, I'm out. I'm done.
Right. So, it's important to remind yourself you're here to get that degree and what it takes. If it means getting up and going to class and doing your work in the class, even if you're not paying attention, you can be getting it done maybe while you're in class so you don't have to do it later.
Yeah.
That's an idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really just, I see that something needs to change. I need to stop procrastinating the change as well, I guess, would be helpful.
Yeah. What is it that you want to do with your major?
I'm going to the military after I graduate.
Okay.
And then after that, my major kind of leads to DC, and with military experience, that'd be really helpful. All government work is, what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But with my second major, which is Asian religions and cultures, I feel like I can also do something in that field as well. And if I get a chance to travel before I graduate, then college would be complete with that, like a study abroad situation.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Which I'd really like to look into, but it's just so expensive.
Right.
But I guess if I lit my fire and got my grades back where they need to be, then maybe I could score some scholarships for that.
Right.
And I think that could help, re-motivate myself, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like a vacation.
Yeah, and now you're not only working towards finishing these classes successfully, but you're working to get some scholarship money so you can travel.
Yeah, that would definitely be a great experience.
And learn a new language outside of the classroom.
It would be so much easier than inside the classroom.
Yeah.
Textbooks just cannot teach you a language.
No, it is really hard to learn from a textbook, a completely different language.
Yeah.
So what else do you think you could draw from?
See, I'm not sure. Like I said, I see that it needs to change. I'm just, and the study abroad is one chance for that to change.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm just sort of like, I don't know, I'm drowning over here, I'm just like, I don't know what else I can do to change it.
I'm ready for a break.
Yes, like that Christmas break cannot come soon enough.
But it's coming. I
Yeah.
know. It can't come soon enough, and then you get to go home.
Yes,
That's exciting. But you plan on coming back in the spring?
I do. That would be. Let's see, I would be graduating next fall, so spring semester would just be like, finishing up all of my core classes,
Oh yeah.
and then fall semester come back and do senior seminars, and then I'm done.
So it's right there.
It's there.
In reach almost.
Yes, I picked a bad time to lose interest, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you're just really close, and you realize, you do have some other things that you can start working towards and keep working towards.
I mean, I know it's a great thing to get through college, and to graduate, and it's a goal that a lot of people have.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get here, I mean, a lot of people want to stay because they love it. It's the environment, and it's like your friends are here. I'm just ready to get out. I'm over college. I had a good time, but I don't know.
I'm ready to get out and
do my own thing.
explore. It sounds
Definitely.
like.
Yeah, I'm just ready to go see the world and I guess leave my print on it.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. That's an exciting way to look at it. So what are some steps that we can take to maybe get you focused in on finishing this biology course, these other courses, get you to focus on the homework so you can get it done and not have to stress about maybe possibly having to repeat a class
and pay for it again.
Yeah, and pay for it again. And then you could spend that money on the study abroad.
Yeah. I think maybe like a schedule would help. Nothing major, just like an hour or two a night, which I have that time I could contribute it to it, as opposed to like watching Netflix. Just like an hour or two a night of studying or working on an assignment.
Yeah.
So instead of like a day before the exams due or the papers due, I'm spending like 4 or 5 hours on it, knocking it all out in one sitting, an hour or two a night, and it's nothing.
Right, or a page a day.
Yeah, something
to keep you working on it.
Yeah, just something like that would help. Or maybe like if I'm studying, just like a chapter a night,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not too difficult or too much to ask.
So entering the night, do you normally come back to your room and get ready to go out, or to your dorm, or are you normally out before that time? You say you watch Netflix at night. You could be spending that time to work on homework. I just wonder if like you put yourself in that atmosphere again, you might get distracted and.
Yeah. See, like my I guess my routine now is I would be out, and then when I come back in from the night, it's been like, you spend your time to decompress. You do your routine before you go to bed, whether that's brush your teeth, whatever.
Right.
And it's never that long. I mean, but I just always end up like in bed with Netflix on, when I could very easily give that time to homework or just a quick chapter or or just look over the notes from the day or something as similar, like as simple as that. I think would be really beneficial if I just gave it the time it deserves.
Yeah.
Which I'm not doing. So.
Well, I mean, if you feel like you could do that while you're just sitting back and watching Netflix, have it out so you can look through it during commercials or something,
Yeah.
That way you get to kind of unwind, but you're still, going through the process and looking at materials that, need to give an attention.
See, and like I see that is what I need to do, and I see I'm pretty sure that would help a lot, and it's just, I mean, it's doing it.
It's hard to make yourself actually do it.
Yes, it's very hard just to, pick up the textbook, I see it sitting there on the table, it's just, I don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Because once you start, you're kind of committed to it,
Or it's like you look at it and you're like, oh, I'll put this away and look at it later.
Yeah.
Does that happens with me a lot.
Yeah, because like I feel like if I'm halfway through a chapter and I don't finish it, then I just wasted that time because I'm not going to remember like the 4 random pages that I just looked at. It's like I have to complete the chapter, and it's devoting that time to it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because once I'm started, I'm committed to getting it done.
Well, um, could you reward yourself with some candy or
Yeah.
go like a weekly outing at the end of the week or something?
Yeah. Not sure what it would be. I don't
Yeah.
think candy would be a strong enough motivating factor for
Probably
me.
not.
But like a reward system, I could see the benefits of. I know a lot of people would do that, and it seems to work for them. But I'm not sure what it would be. Like I'm not sure what a motivating
Yeah.
factor for me would be. But I definitely see the benefits of something along those lines.
And just keeping a schedule.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you know what needs to happen, and you are intelligent enough and very capable, I believe, of making whatever adjustments it is, you know, whether it be create a schedule or getting a group of your friends together just so you can complete your homework before you go out and do whatever, you know. I appreciate you again for coming in and doing this interview.
Not a problem at all.
Do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay. Well, thanks again. If you'll, I guess, I do have a few more questions though for you. Did you find any of this helpful?
Yeah, I would say that I did. Like I said, I had a rough idea of what I need to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I think this just sort of and cleared that up. You know, let me know what exactly it is I need to do, and I guess it reaffirmed, you know, the belief that something needs to change.
Right.
So
Kind of brought it to light.
yeah, so I think you know, this coming week I'm gonna, you know, make something change.
Mm-hmm.
It's time. Because like I said, my grades have not been where I wanted to be. But I think there's enough time left in the semester.
Yeah.
You know, with finals coming up and term papers are due in a couple weeks, that I can you know make the changes that need to be made and fix it.
Yeah, you see that.
Yeah.
Did you feel comfortable talking to me?
Completely comfortable.
Okay. Well, I'm glad. You were very easy to talk to as well, and I appreciate that. And this concludes our interview.
Thank you.